All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to introduce to you today a brand new project. It's a project that we don't have a name for yet, but around here at the shop, we've kind of been calling it the Copper Dragon. But anyways, this is for a good customer of ours. His name is Emin O'Reilly, and him and his wife brought this out last fall, and we're just now kind of getting dove into it. So today and tomorrow, we're going to tear this thing completely down, and really the only thing that we're using on this truck is the body. I believe this was kind of like an eBay truck that him and his wife bought when they lived out in California, and they drove it around for a few years. They made an appointment with us to get all this work done, and the cool thing about that is they were just able to drive it while they waited instead of just having it parked somewhere. So right now it's just a stock chassis with CPP suspension brakes. It's got, I think, 20s and 22s. It originally was a long bed truck that the previous owners cut down and made into a short bed. It's got a 5.3 4L60E in it, just typical bolt-on parts with a LS swap in it. But what we're gonna do is pretty radically different. So we're gonna keep this body, we're gonna redo some of the bed stuff, do a little bit of paint work, but I'm gonna show you in just a second, we've got a brand new chassis, engine, trans, electronics, everything's different. So anyways, let's dive into this project and tear it down. Sick. We're gonna go to the paint booth. Yeah, dude. Ew.
Well, it was like, you want to be a car?
Yeah.
He's like,
I have no.
Try that. Yeah.
no, I guess.
Did you see how small those fans are?
Yeah, they're super tiny.
Like 2 8-inches with no shroud.
Yeah.
Nobody uses FM anymore.
Trying to get the booster push rod detached from the brake pedal so that I can pull that whole assembly out so we can get it out of the way and start getting the brake lines off the chassis side. And just try to clear out everything so we can lift the body up off the chassis.
Carpet. Oh, this is nice. By the way, if you have electric fans, you can't use a binary switch. You have to have a trinary switch. All this does is cycle the compressor. So you need another circuit to cycle the fans on and off to keep the pressure down. So definitely need a trinary. Paint booth.
It's how the French say garbage.
A lot of electrical tape and butt connectors and vampire clips and original wiring, original to the truck wiring. It doesn't matter to just cut this because no one will use any of this. Can we call you Nate Dogg? Nate Dogg? Hey, does anybody call you Nate Dogg?
Not since I've been little.
Yeah, what do they call you?
Bailey.
Bailey?
My last name.
It's from West Texas. Amarillo?
Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo, Texas. He's up here for the week interning with us. We're gonna teach him a few things. So all I'm doing is just making a mental note so I could actually write a note if there was any shims on this fender. And actually not one of these bolts had a shim behind it, which is surprising.
Trying to get this steering shaft off of here, but a little seized up here. This shaft's not wanting to slip, so I think I'm gonna hit it with some WD-40 and see if that can give me some lubricant so I can move it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I might have to try to put some heat into it, see if I can't melt it all out. I'm trying to get this to slip.
Front end sheet metal's off. That went easy. A little bit of coolant on the ground, but also no surprises in any of the body stuff. Like inside of the front fenders have a little bit of rot in them. Core support does, which is super common. But everything else looks pretty good. No collision damage, nothing else really wacky. So now that all that's done, we're gonna put it on the lift, get it in the air. We're gonna get all the fluids out of it, get the cab mount bolts, make sure there's nothing weird attached to the bottom of the cab, and then we'll put it back down on the ground and then use the lift to lift the cab off. Once the cab's off, then we can push the whole frame and everything outside, and then we'll lift the bed off, bring the bed in here, set it on the cart so we can disassemble the bed. But at that point, then we can just sell everything out from underneath this truck, and then we can start working on the body. One, two, three. This is heavy.
Yeah, it is. Oh, they cut it twice.
Yeah, you have to. You got to cut the front and the back. So this was a long bed that somebody shortened. So you can still see the, spider. You can still see the weld on here and then right here. And then look in here, and you can see the weld right here too on the bed side. Honestly, it's a pretty good job. Oh, and look, they cut at the very back here. I've never seen anybody cut all that way back. Huh. This is grease mud. Flowmasters.
Hell yeah.
High school Jesse would have been pumped about this.
Oh, yeah. I remember I put glass packs on my truck and I thought I was like the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah.
So we're making this one a little bit longer so it'll connect first so that it pushes the weight that way so the truck's not sitting like at a weird angle.
The back was hanging down. There we go.
Definitely needed an oil change. Dude, how funny is it that we're calling this Copper Dragon and these spark plugs say Dragon Fire on them?
Corner on this side's rusted. Somebody like drilled holes in it, I guess to let the water and crap out. They put an outer and an inner on it. This rear cab support's rusted.
Notice this patch here in the floor.
Yeah, there's a big patch. Look, they cut the floor all the way along it right there. So this has all been replaced, but half-assed.
Yeah.
The other side's the same way. Look at that, it's gone. So I gotta get to this drain plug in the side of the block, but the collector for the header to the exhaust is in the way. So I'm undoing the bolts now. I'm gonna pull this pipe out, pull that header out, that way we can get all the coolant drained out. I'm getting there. You guys talking about beers already?
I could go for that too.
I'm afraid of this bolt. You ready?
That's literally the first time I've ever done that and it didn't get my armpit.
Yeah. Yeah, I was almost like watching him get this in his armpit. Look how much better he did than you.
Well, that one's smaller.
Do you like that?
All day long, mop, 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 while I sing this song.
Ready?
Yep.
Still good?
Yep.
All right, stop there. Now come down real slow.
I'm gonna have to move this.
You good?
Yeah.
We're just trying to level the cab now, just to get it to set nice on the cart. That way, these carts are nice. Now we can spin this around and do the firewall, do the tunnel, work on the rockers, whatever. Oh yeah. As with most trucks that we build in this shop, we're gonna be using a no-limit chassis again. The only thing that's a little bit different from any of the standard trucks that we build is that this one is another independent rear suspension truck. It's got a 9-inch third member. And we've spec'd this one without coilovers, and then we bought JRIs for it. JRIs are a great shock, no doubt about it, but one of the cool benefits of being able to, when using a JRI shock, is you're able to spec them with the hydraulic lift system. So if you guys have ever seen like any of the exotic cars that have the front end lift system, that's exactly what this is. It's a hydraulic lift that's in the coilover pocket. And so it'll extend the coilover and allow it to come back down to ride height. So if you have trouble like getting into a enclosed trailer, on a lift, or even in some like parking garage or something, you just be able to hit the button and lift the truck up a couple inches to get over your obstacle and then drop it back down to ride height. So if you can fit this in the budget, this is an awesome option for any truck, car build, or whatever. But we've used these. We started using them on my yellow and white square body, and then now we've done a couple other trucks using the hydraulic lift system. And then we did like a newer Mustang GT500 with JRIs and a hydraulic lift, and it was incredible because that car had like a really low splitter. So anyways, since this chassis has been in here, we've done some work to it already. You can see that like some of the rear's apart because we're measuring and doing some stuff like that. But Dylan has already done all the aluminum fuel lines. This motor's gonna make a ton of power, so we did -8 feed and 6 return. We did the radium heat sink filter and their fuel filter, heat sink mount for their fuel filter. And then Dylan did all the hydralift, stainless -3 hardline plumbing, and they did all the brake hardline plumbing out of stainless -3 as well. Yeah, you get a good look at the JRIs up front there. We're using the new Willwood aluminum Pro spindle. Well, I guess it's not new anymore. It's been out for a few years, but this aluminum spindle allows us a few different options. One, to be able to use the GMT 800 heavy duty wheel bearing, which is a sealed unit bearing, very low maintenance and easy to replace if you ever need to replace it. And then you can order Willwood brake packages for that spindle. The only thing that's different that we did on this one that's not offered by Willwood is we did dynamic rotors all the way around. And what that means is the hat isn't bolted directly to the disc and held together. The disc is bolted to a clip in the hat that allow the rotor to grow in diameter and not be stressed on the bolt or hold secure by the bolt. So the rotor can grow and the fastener can slide in the hat. So we've machined these hats and drilled the hats and bored the center bore to be able to use the dynamic rotor. So these are Willwood's anodized calipers that allow the heat to get out of the caliper. So a really cool caliper. We spec'd them with like BP30 pads all around. Gonna do an e-stop, so electric parking brake. So yeah, a lot of the chassis stuff has already been mocked up. So the only thing we've been waiting on is the motor. Don Hardy's been building the motor now for quite a while. We've had some delays just because we spec'd. We wanted a 427 aluminum aftermarket blocks. We've got a dart block, dart heads, and then we wanted to wait on the new Gen 5 Whipple that's specific to the LS motor. So now that all those parts have been available, he does have that engine put together. We'll drop a little picture in here so you guys can see what the engine looks like. But I think this week he's actually gonna be dynoing that engine. He thinks that we'll be actually over the 1,000 horsepower mark by a good amount, so which will be crazy and way too much power for this, but we'll pulley it and probably make it to make 800 wheel horsepower or something like that. But so the engine will be done, and in the meantime, we'll get that body swapped over and mocked up and make sure the body fits great. And then once the engine gets here, we'll mate it to the transmission.
So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put everything back together that can go back on here so that we can get this out of this shop and get it over to the other shop.
I wonder if my power washer's working right now. Remember my dad had a fit with that thing?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That makes sense.
That is cool. I've never seen that.
Me either.
So this is the transmission that's gonna be hooked up to that Don Hardy 427. I kind of alluded to the fact that it's gonna be something cool. Well, it's gonna be like the most well-built, power-capable, multi-use transmission that people are using right now. So it's the 8HP90. This transmission specifically came out of a 22 Hellcat that got T-boned. So mileage was super low. The reason why I'm using these and the reason why so many people are using these right now is that they can take a beating and they can be paddle shifted to feel like a sequential shifted transmission. So if you guys wanted to do a track day, or like this customer wants to do a track day, he'll put it in sport manual mode and be able to paddle down just like a manual transmission. Because essentially it is a manual transmission that's electronically shifted, but what they did different over a DCT transmission is they've incorporated a torque converter. So what makes these feel so much like a manual transmission is they use stall speed a little bit to get going, but then as far as I understand it, they lock this converter up and it stays locked while you're paddle shifting. So that's what makes it a true positive gear engagement. So this is that 8HP90. We bought one from a very reputable salvage yard that is nationally known, that does carry or provide warranties over these. And I think this one was like $4,600. So they're not exactly cheap, but like we are dealing with a guy down in Mississippi, I think it is, that is a builder of these transmissions and is a kind of a guru about these transmissions. And I've talked to him a lot about this transmission and what its use is in that pickup truck. And when I called and I said it's gonna be 1,000, 1,100 crank horsepower, he was like, okay, so what are you gonna do with it? And I was like, it's mainly a street truck, it's 2-wheel drive, it'll make 800 pulleyed down to the tires. And I told him the weight and he was like, you don't need to do anything to that transmission. He was like, put the Hellcat red-eye converter in it and do nothing. Like put a big cooler on it, manage the temperature. But he was like, those transmissions are great because there's so many Trackhawk guys that make 1,000 wheel horsepower and have a 6,000 pound vehicle. Those guys are the ones that can potentially tear these up. But for what we're doing here, the 8HP90 is really good. I think we're gonna be super happy with this. This does require a lot of advanced electronics, so be wary of that if you decide to go down this rabbit hole. But we're using the turbo-lamic controller for this, paired up with Motec. So this is again advanced like in electronics, but that's the way to do these perfectly, is to use a very good ECU. Hellcat can do these too. We've got a lot of friends that are using Hellcat along with the turbo-lamics and are having awesome luck with them. They love how they shift and feel. No issues whatsoever. But that's the transmission. I just wanted to take a minute to show you guys what's gonna go in the Copper Dragon. Hey, I'm gonna take a break in this video real quick to introduce today's sponsor, Motorhead Digital. Are you also a business or influencer in the automotive aftermarket? And have you been racking your brain on how to grow your brand recognition and reach a greater audience? Well, look no further. We've been working with Motorhead Digital for the past few years, and they've been an absolutely pivotal part of growing our e-commerce platform. Motorhead Digital was founded in 2017, and they focus solely on the automotive restoration, performance, race, and restyling segments of the automotive aftermarket industry. Barry and the team at Motorhead Digital are digital marketing experts, offering their signature, location, site, and marketing maximizer programs. Their programs will supercharge your website, social media, digital marketing, and your entire online presence to reach a greater number of higher quality leads. They are a results-oriented team of marketing specialists, web designers, and content writers who also just happen to be total gearheads. They specialize in providing an end-to-end service for shops in the automotive aftermarket. They focus on learning your story, your goals, your niche, and who your ideal customers are. They help bridge that gap between where you are now and where you need to be. Their creative team can put your message in front of the right audience and help you succeed online. Increased exposure, successful customer interactions, improved customer engagement, and repeat customer business is just right around the corner. Hit up Motorhead Digital today.
Interesting. It's like an extension for the back, so you can run your defrost ducts and your floor ducts. Just go over this hood.
there's one left. There's a bolt left. Typical intern stuff.
Remote fuel shutoff valve, I believe. So I think that when the fuel tank was back here, fuel tank went through the factory hole, it went into this valve, and I don't know if it was to divert fuel or to just shut it off altogether. Oh, it's definitely gas. That's definitely old gas. I don't know if I've ever taken a factory high hump off. We're usually always just adding a high hump.
All right, so you've been at level 7 for a couple days now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It's good. It's
Yeah.
good place. They treat me well.
So what brought you to level 7? Are you a big fan?
Yeah. And I like building trucks. I want to work here someday. Hopefully.
There you go. How old are you?
18.
Where are you from?
Amarillo, Texas.
So you came up here for the week? So
That's
like what,
right.
6 days?
5 days.
5 days? Get to hang out with the level 7 guys the whole time?
Yep. They're taking good care of me. So it's been fun.
Yeah, you're only 2 days in.
Still got 3 more to go.
We got pretty much everything taken apart. Everything's out of the cab, so now for the cab, we're just kind of waiting on the replacement parts like the floor, the rockers and stuff we gotta do. We'll end up doing the firewall. I imagine we'll probably wait till we get the engine so that we can sit it on the chassis, test fit the cab, and see how far back we're gonna set that engine. We might have to widen the firewall, the tunnel in it, which is something we've had to do before in the past. But just right now, it's just getting everything cleaned up, getting all the parts that we're selling posted and bagged and put away, and all the parts that we're keeping bagged, tagged, on the shelf, and ready to go. All right, guys, well, that's it for the first episode on this truck. I feel really accomplished. We got a lot done in a day and a half, especially with a new intern here. Nathan did a great job kind of like learning some of the processes, kind of what we do, how we do it. And for never really tearing a truck down like this, he did an awesome job. So happy to have him here. Really appreciate you, Nathan. And if you guys think of a cool name for this truck, let me know. Drop it in the comments below, because I don't really know if I like the copper dragon all that much. But anyway, so from that process, or this entire process of the last day and a half, we've got good organization, and we've got a really good list of the stuff that I need to get coming to push this project further along. We did find some of the rust repair that needs to be done, so I'm gonna reach out to Jason and our buddies at AMD. We'll get a lot of that stuff coming. Dylan will ultimately hop on this rust repair really quickly, and he'll knock that out in the next week or so. I'll get going on the heavy mechanical stuff with the chassis, so that when he's done, we can kind of pair up the two and start mocking up Fender's core support. We also have a new bed floor coming from AMD. And then so, yeah, that'll be the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks again, Nathan, to coming in and helping us out. We'll see you guys on the next video. Later.